How do I define justice? I think I would define justice as treating people fairly and equally and with dignity.
Justice is giving the victims the opportunity to feel as whole as possible following an offense.
Justice is ensuring that the victim gets what they need out of the system. The current criminal justice system, I think if you ask anybody, they will tell you it doesn't work. Now, we all have different reasons for why it doesn't work and how we think it needs to be fixed. My problems with it, just from perspective of, like I said, former police officer, prosecutor, and now as a judge, is we do not focus on the true victim.
You have to remember that in the United States, our judicial system, our set of laws, our way of doing things is pretty well derived from the British system. In the original form of the justice system, it was all victim-oriented. At some point, the king realized that there was a set of source of income here, that this was money being paid, and they codified the law and they passed some crown laws, and they decided that if in fact you committed certain types of acts, you were violating the king's law.
I see cases get plea bargained. Half the time I don't even see the victim in court. I always wonder, if they even know that their case was settled. We don't focus on the true individuals that were harmed.
Restorative justice is a process that provides an opportunity for all the stakeholders in a crime to have a dialogue. So restorative justice looks not only at the offender, but also at the victim and at the community. The offender can explain and answer questions for the victim. The community can explain what it was that the offender did that had an effect on the community as a whole.
When I give them that pamphlet and I say, I want you to know that I might have 100 cases today, but you're important, how you feel is important. Just by doing that, the court's humanizing what's happened to these people, and we've taken out a sterile court environment. We recognize that these are real people that have been hurt and harmed, and they have real fears and questions. That's a powerful thing.
I can tell you that Jonathan was the love child. He loved everyone. He was just unusual. He was happy from the time he came out. He started smiling immediately. Brendan said, I'd never seen a kid, and he kept looking back and forth, you know, on either side, like, are you my mom and you're my dad? You know, it was kind of an odd thing. Two cars had come up over the hill side by side, and by the time I could say they're going to hit us, they hit us. I mean, it was like so fast it was unbelievable. All of a sudden I looked out in the distance about 50, maybe 75 feet away from the car. There was a little boy out in the middle of the street, and I thought, my goodness, he hit a pedestrian because one hit us and went up on the sidewalk and the other one hit us direct. We ran up, and you know what was really strange about that is that when I looked down at his face, I didn't even recognize him. It was an amazing, I don't know if it was the Lord or shock or what it was, but then I saw his little shoes and I said, man, that's Jonathan. When we got the call that Judge McCooey wanted us to be part of the restorative justice, Jamie was like, I'm not really sure I want to go. It was in a very small room, you know. We were sitting directly across from the boys. And it was awkward to start at first, obviously. That was the hardest part was, you know, where do you start? And that meeting was really, really a great meeting. I mean, my daughter walked out of that meeting, I don't know immediately, but you could tell a difference. She got it off of her chest because we could say anything and explain how we felt and what had happened to us personally. And she was able to explain that, and I think that was powerful for her.
My name's Caleb Kendrick. I'm 27 years old. I'm at Draper Penitentiary in Alabama. I've been here since 2002. I'm on a life sentence, and this is where I'm at. The lawyer told me Judge McCooey had a program, and being that she's my judge, and he asked me if I'd like to participate in it, and I told him I would. I always, wanted to help my victims move on with their life. It wasn't nothing like I thought it would be. When I walked in, I was real nervous, clammy hands. Am I going to be able to say what I wanted to say? Am I going to remember everything I want to say? Am I going to express right? The main thing I wanted to get her to understand is, when I walked in, was how remorseful I truly am, how sorry I truly am. And the one thing she asked me to do was find a way to forgive myself. And I never realized how much hate I had towards myself, anger. And when I heard that, it was like, it made me look at, evaluate myself and see that all I am is mad at myself, mad at things,
The community's role in restorative justice is often neglected and not seen. If someone, let's just use this as an example, robs a store, the community members don't want to go and use those facilities anymore because they're afraid they may be in the middle of some crime. Property values can go down, so the voice of the community is often not heard.
Alabama Appleseed, being a legal-based nonprofit advocacy organization, once we got funding to complete this project, the thing that we brought to the table was our time and being able to sit down with these judges and describe the program, describe the benefits of it, and to try to coordinate not only facilitators but also people willing to utilize the project and to encourage these judges, kind of being an extra arm for Judge McCooey to expand this work.
The first exposure that I had to restorative justice was probably twofold. Number one, hearing what Judge McCooey was doing down in Montgomery County, and number two, I was approached by a group from the United Methodist Church and from Alabama Appleseed who were interested in starting a restorative justice type program here in Jefferson County.
I was so excited to hear that Judge Huff in Birmingham was starting restorative justice victim offender conferencing at the juvenile level. Victim offender conferencing is scary to a lot of judges. And the reason it's scary is victim offender conferencing takes time. And not only that, but it's an investment of emotions and energy and all those things that, as a judge, when I'm wearing that black robe from 8 to 5, I'm up there and the other people are standing in front of me. I don't have to really understand the effects of what happened, get emotionally drawn in like you do with victim offender conferencing. We've got to deal with emotions and feelings and help people to find that peace. We've got to, or we're not going to ever see a change in why people just keep committing crimes.
I think I probably have a warped sense of the judicial system because of Judge McCooey. Because I expected a lot more lopsidedness, and her compassion to fairness, I think, was really strong. I felt like she treated us fair, and I think she treated the kids fair. And I think that's what justice is all about.